All right, good evening and welcome back, everybody. Hope you all had a great week. Saturday night, the night before the Super Bowl. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. Hope you guys are as well. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. Don't really have a prediction. I'm just hoping for a pretty close game. I don't know if that will happen or not, just because, if I think any team's going to be lopsided one way or the other, I think it would be the Eagles' defense really stepping up and playing well, and then they would kind of take over the game. But I just don't see it with Pat Mahomes. So I really see probably a close game all the way through and probably some good scoring on both sides. So anyway, looking forward to that game. All right, so I just got a few things I got from Sportlots this week. I wanted to show you. So this is going to be a real quick video. This is going to be building on my collection of 2001 Topps Gold cards. Just as a brief summary, it is a project I'm working on. I'm trying to started with trying to just get the Hall of Famers and future Hall of Famers, but then I extended it to some of the stars as well. And also retired players that had highlight cards in there too. And I'll show you what I mean when I get to one of those. All these are numbered out of 2001, and just as a reminder, there was the first parallel of the flagship set that had numbering with it. They did have gold cards through 92, 3, and 4, but they weren't numbered and they were one per pack. So they're definitely more plentiful than these cards, which I think ranged from like 1 in 17 packs to I think 1 in 14 packs with like Series 2, and then I think also with Topps Traded and Rookies, which was the final series where you find the Albert Pujols rookie card in it as well. So it's been a pleasure trying to get these cards. These things have a kind of a special memory in my mind of like when I was trying to collect these originally. Didn't have much left from that period of time, so I've been building this back up since I've been kind of back in the hobby since I think it was probably the better part of the beginning of 2019, maybe the end of 18. I can't remember when I got back into it. All right, so as you remember, these cards are pretty delicate because of the gold foil. It's gold foil on here, which is prone to getting indentations and dings. That's why sometimes they don't grade out so high. That's one of the challenges I think with collecting these cards in particular, is they're prone to chipping and indentations. And if they have unopened boxes of these, you pretty much are probably just going to throw out the 2001 Topps cards. Because they are prone to bricking. So there's probably some gold cards that are out there that were never opened that are probably kind of waste because they'll have residue from other cards on it, or your card itself will kind of get ripped as you start to separate it from the other cards. Okay, so without further ado, I just got a stack of cards this week from Sportlots, and I'll kind of show you what I picked up. Most of these guys are going to be stars on here, or players that I'd like to collect from the White Sox. There's only one Hall of Famer in there, and I think one future Hall of Famer, and I'll point them out when I get to it. So I got Robin Ventura, was the first one I picked up. He had a pretty good career overall. As White Sox fans, I think we're still kind of clueless why they didn't really try and make him a long stay player with us, because he had some great seasons after he left for both New York teams and eventually wound up, I think, with the Dodgers. Definitely would have been a good player to have on their squad, I think, through some of the years in the early 2000s. As the Joe Creedy just couldn't really stay healthy, even though he was quite a good talent. I think they thought they had a replacement there, but did not play probably as many games or often, probably for as long, I think, as Robin Ventura did. This card's got a little ding on the top, unfortunately, but, I got it at Sportlots for like, I think, a quarter, so I'm not too upset about that. And as I remember, they're all numbered out of 2001. That's from Series 1. El Caballo, Carlos Lee, had some great years with the White Sox, had some good years with Milwaukee and Houston. Definitely was a player that kind of got pretty much caught career-wise behind a lot of the steroid users. So when you look at his career WAR, his numbers aren't that impressive in comparison to his peers, but it's during a period of time when a lot of his peers obviously were using. I don't think his name was ever associated with use, but he was definitely a good hitter with the White Sox, and later on with the other two teams that he played for. I think he had played for a third and final team too. I think it was the Florida, if I'm not mistaken. But Carlos Lee, got it there. It's actually also out of Series 1. And one of the interesting facts about it is he wore with the White Sox Michael Jordan's number. Here's the only Hall of Famer I got with it, which actually was an eBay purchase. Was Ivan Rodriguez. I had not seen this card in the 3 years I've been working on it, and then suddenly it was on sale on eBay. So it was one of those cards like, okay, I got to pick this one up just because I haven't been able to see it for sale for years. Because I just think people put these in their collection. They don't really think they have maybe a lot of value in a sense where they want to put it up for sale and they're going to sell for like $15-20 a piece. They think it may be like $1 or so. I think I got this for like $2 or $3, a little bit more shipping, but for me, it definitely was worth the purchase because I never see it for sale. And it's a Series 1 card. So we got Pudge right there. Here's what I think is the future Hall of Famer, and he's a manager, Terry Francona. I think I'm pretty confident that he'll be able to get in. This is back when he was just kind of beginning as a manager. I think it was his 3rd season. Probably was more noted as being Michael Jordan's minor league manager and the son of a former major leaguer, even though he had a career himself, but he never really was as popular as his father was as a player. But definitely has like probably eclipsed him in the annals of baseball because of his management career. Definitely the 2 championships with the Red Sox. I mean, that speaks for itself, and he's gone on to still continue to have a great career with Cleveland, with the Guardians now, and even guided them to the playoffs last year. Here we got Nomar Garciaparra. Nomar was a player that there was some loose accusations that he actually may have used. I don't think they ever ended up being kind of founded, and he definitely denied using steroids during this era. I don't know if he did or didn't, obviously. I don't know Nomar personally. But Nomar definitely was a player that I think his career WAR may have really stood out if he didn't play during the steroid era and put up some similar numbers as he did. His numbers really began to start deteriorate when he couldn't keep his wrist healthy, and he lost a lot of his power and bat speed when that happened, which I think a wrist injury is kind of a death sentence for a hitter, especially the type of hitter that Nomar was. I think I remember him most now in hindsight as for his wacky batting stance. Just kind of look at it on YouTube, look him up if you've never had a chance to see him hit. He had very quirky batting stance, probably a batting stance and a ritual that actually with the new pitch clock now he probably wouldn't actually be able to use. But Nomar had some great seasons. Was a Rookie of the Year, multiple-time All-Star, led the league in hitting. I think with the average as high as 372 one season, which is crazy. I don't think the last time I saw a 372 average, but that was Nomar. All right, then we got one of these highlight cards. So 2001 was an anniversary set. It was the 50th anniversary. That's why they did the gold theme with it. And they had a lot of golden moments during the years of Topps. Specifically, I don't think they had cards that probably featured historical moments probably prior to the advent of Topps cards. So these will be probably the first 50 years of Topps, and I'm trying to get the Hall of Fame highlights that your Hall of Fame players that have highlight cards in here at this point too. Some of them are kind of expensive, so I've kind of shied away from trying to pick some of them up right now, and some of them just don't come to sale for very often. So here's a Pudge, Carlton Fisk, obviously his home run during the, I believe, 75 World Series, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 75 World Series in Game 6, a series they eventually actually lost. And then I have some ones from Topps traded an update. Oh, I don't know, but I somehow just turned off Siri on my computer or something I said. All right, so then we got, there's no Hall of Famers in the stack from the traded sets. There's not probably going to be too many Hall of Famers in that series in general when you kind of look at some of the names on the checklist. I think I have probably all the ones except for the dual Ichiro and Pujols card that are probably going to be Hall of Famers. But there's a lot of guys who actually had good careers, like Roy Oswalt has a card in there. I think Jake Peavy does as well. Peavy won a Cy Young. Oswalt, I think it was a runner-up a few times, but had a career WAR of 50 during his period of time before his arm kind of gave out in the early part of last decade. But during the 2000s, he was definitely a solid ace for the Houston Astros and was a big part of their playoff run teams, including the team that eventually made it to the World Series and lost to the White Sox. Johnny Damon, this is when he was traded to the A's right before he made a stop with the Red Sox, where he became kind of the famous Johnny Damon that we all kind of know today, before he had the big bushy beard then at that time too, and later obviously with the Yankees. But here's Johnny Damon when he was brought over to the A's, because I think the A's at this time were really trying to make a push for the pennant. They hadn't won one since 1990 and were really making a push for it, and they still haven't been able to win one yet. But they had a really dominant team there for the early parts of the 2000s, and Johnny Damon was part of it till they moved on to the Red Sox. And then finally, I mentioned this guy earlier, but we got Joe Creedy too. Was an all-star a couple times, I think once with the Sox and once with the Twins after he left the White Sox. Had a lot bad back. I mean, legitimately a bad back that kind of shortened his career and limited him. Never was really able to recover. Had good power, good range in the field when he was healthy. Definitely was a solid part of the 2005 White Sox. Had a really good offensive season in '06. And then he just kind of couldn't stay healthy. So it's kind of an unfortunate because he had like unlimited talent as a third baseman, but he just couldn't stay healthy enough to be able to put together a long-term career with any team. So that's it, guys. I'm going to be probably coming back to you soon with a video of a complete set presentation, and I will then see you guys again probably maybe in a week. I'm not sure. I'm going to be out of town next weekend, but I'm hoping to be able to make a video of where I'm going, because I might be able to stop at a really cool card shop while I'm there. So we'll see. We'll see if I'll be able to kind of put that together for you, but I'll have one more video before then. All right, have a great one. Enjoy the Super Bowl.